Time management has played a major role in all of your success in achieving the goals that you've wanted. Being able to spread your learning out over time has been instrumental. So we want to come up with a way to plan for finals and have that satisfaction and peace of mind that we've done everything that we can. We've put in the effort that we've required, and we've used our time efficiently. Is going to give us that a much better sense and decrease our stress going into the exam. So we've got 3 weeks before the exam. This is how we ask students to prepare for finals. Take your final exam date and then march 3 weeks back. What we're going to do is divide 3 weeks into 6 working days, where you can take a day off from preparing for finals. From now until the last day of classes, you'll still be going to classes, so you're going to be trying to figure out where you do have the spare time. We're going to ask you to find 2 hours on each of those 6 days. So you're going to be looking at 12 hours a week. Over the 3 weeks, that's going to give you a total of 36 total hours for preparing for your finals. Whether you have 4 classes, that'll be 9 hours on average per class, or if you have 3, then you'd have 12 hours per class to prepare. But you've found 36 total hours specifically for finals preparation. After December 7th, you can commit more time because that's the last day of classes, and most of none of your exams will be appearing unless they're an evening class. They'll be happening after that. So you'll have a few weeks where you'll be having full days of no classes where you can commit to doing that test appropriate practice and giving them a little bit more time. And we'll see an example shortly what that looks like. Depending on your last exam, you'll have more or less time. And then one thing to remind ourselves of is that if you have an exam, you're not doing any studying that day. Test days are not work days. If you've got 3 exams, 4 exams spread over 2 weeks, the day of the exam, don't try to do any studying. Just focus on managing your stress levels and doing well on that exam, and then recovering afterwards. If you have a morning exam, do something relaxing in the afternoon. Wherever you relax, whether that be a workout, whether it be relaxing with and doing some binge watching on Netflix. Relax, calm down, and then get back into it the next day. Divide your courses into the 36 hours. That's something I just mentioned. Be specific with each week. This is one way to go about doing it. Some people will do just preparation and test appropriate practice every single session. What you could think about it though is that the first week of your exam study plan will be preparing material. Choose the learning strategies that you want to use that are most appropriate for the material you're trying to learn, and then prepare the material. Then you want to, in the second week, start going back and continuing to prepare material, but also starting to do the test appropriate practice, starting to reflect on answering some of those questions and practicing those retrieval type strategies. What we then want to do on our last week, the week before the exam, the 5 days before the exam, the 6 days before that exam, we want to be solely focusing on testing ourselves appropriately. That's what we want to be doing. We don't want to be preparing material this late in the game for our exams. Prioritize courses with more time. So if you've got these 36 hours and you're taking, a lot of people will prioritize statistics or a math course over their history course because of maybe confidence, but also just knowing that there's a lot of material, or the math course is weighted higher. So it's 55% on my exam, so they might choose to prioritize that one. So that'd give it a few more hours. Again, this is a personal choice, so it's different for everyone, but make sure you include it, make sure you do it, prioritize it. And we do that on that other sheet that you should have completed by now. Assign courses and work sessions to the monthly calendar. So now what we've done is we've identified these 36 hours. We want to map those out over a calendar just so that we can see what it looks like and where we're going to be spending our time. And then that's just going to be our to-do list. We're just going to check things off and make sure that we're on track and be able to have that confidence of knowing that I'm ticking things off and that you're being as efficient as you can. Finally, we're going to divide the material to be covered over those work sessions. So we're going to really get down to being a little bit more specific about what I do in each of those 2 hours I found that day. So let's have a look. First, this is something that you should have already completed. You'll have this form that you should download and put in your 3 to 4 courses. Make a list of the topics that you're going to be covering. This was with a student that had Sociology 100, Math 114, and History 115. These are the topics that were going to be on the Sociology test. This is going to be on As you can see from the course outline, it's not the best. This here could be a little bit more detailed, but we did that as we were strapped for time. But this here was all that was listed on the course outline. And again, this here was listed all in the course outline for the history course. The format, you should have all of this information ready to go. This person's prioritized them in this order. We know how much each one is worth, and we know how we're being tested. So now we've got all the topics. We've completed this part. We've completed that first area. What we want to do now is we want to divide up that month, those 6 days. And so that looks like this. This student started before reading week. What we do is we go down, we write down the exam. So let's just take history as an example. History 115 is actually a night class, so there is an exam in the last day of classes. So it's in class, it's worth 50%. We've put PM on there. That's all we need to know. We've gone back 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3. We put down our start time. Okay, we need to get ready here. What we've done is we've found this student is going to be working no Tuesdays. I think they had a part-time job, so they couldn't do Tuesdays. That's the day they want to take off. So then Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they found 2 hours. They're going to commit to those 2 hours. So they start here, and they're just going to fill in how many of these need to be for history. So the day before, they're not going to be doing any study. It's a Tuesday. So then one of these bubbles is going to be represent 1 hour, and they've said that history is going to take up each of these bubbles here. So now that they've identified that they've found, I believe this is around 18, maybe 16 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I think, hours that we have for history alone. All we then have to do is then take these topics here and match them to their time. When is the best time to be going through the summaries? When can I review? So maybe this week here they might do 1 hour and they'll cover topic number 1 and number 2, and they'll prepare material. So this maybe they'll spend the first 4 or 5 days preparing material, and then they'll do preparing material and testing appropriately, and then they'll just be slowly testing during this week and getting ready for that final. That's a great way to split it up. Or they just prepare material and test themselves. Prepare material, test themselves. Prepare material, test themselves. Preparing material, as a reminder, is still just going through and identifying that you can, what learning strategies apply to the material you're trying to learn. What learning strategies are the best to be using to learn this material. As a note here, reading week, this one here, the student just committed to the 2 hours that we said at the start, but because it was reading week, there was no classes, so they were able to commit to turn each of these bubbles into a 2-hour session instead. No studying, as a reminder, on exam days. Here is math. We crossed it off because there was an exam on that day. No studying on this day. You're just trying to prepare for this day. You're not going to be doing a sociology prep for 2 hours on the day of your math exam. Math exam days just for the exam. We put a note on here, last day of classes. We crossed out these two because they thought that they might be going to a party in Lister and just enjoying time with friends. And then maybe the morning session probably not going to be happening if they were going to stay up late. So they were going to adjust this. And they felt comfortable just saying, on this Tuesday I'm not going to be doing anything anyway. That's where we're at. What we have to do from here is we've set aside the 2 days. We say 3 weeks from the exam. 2 hours per day for your 6 days a week. You can take 1 day off. And then we're going to split those up into 1-hour sessions. After the last day of classes, these can be 2-hour sessions because we don't have any classes anymore. So then sociology, we know that we've got 2 hours per session in here. We can commit a lot more time during this period. What we don't want to do, though, is wait until the last day of classes and then just do all math and then all sociology. What we see is that math now all of a sudden only gets a few hours and just even a few days, where sociology gets more time, when actually we prioritize saying, you know what, math is more important. So we've got to find a little bit over time is going to amount to so much more once we get down here. A little bit over time, early and often, is what we want to engage in, and that there really helps. This really shows that that's exactly what you're doing. You're getting a lot of your normal going to classes and study hall and assignments you still can get done, but by committing just a small amount, just 1 hour for 2 different subjects, or you can do, these can be both the same subject too. You can do math. You don't have to do math history. You can do a 2-hour session. You could just do math, and then history, math, history, math. And then that'll give you a 2-hour session. You probably built up your stamina that there is something that is easily achievable. You can focus for 2 hours on one subject. And that'd be good. You just prepare material, prepare material and test yourself, solely just testing yourself. Once it comes into that last week, we're really trying to focus on that. Again, we want to go through these steps and really just divide up the last few days that you have left. What we'll be expecting from this is we'll be looking for you to create these. You'll find the November and monthly calendar PDFs available for you to print off and to download and to create your actual plan. Follow these steps and you'll be good to go. See you in the next one.